and be responsible. Number 5, forgive immediately. Don't go back to think about no, forgive. Allow forgiveness to take root in your heart immediately. Do not allow yourself to see the negative side of it. Withdraw yourself from the negative thing and position yourself into the positive, because no matter what happened to you in life, what you look at it as an ugliness is maybe a way God is going to use to catapult you to a better life. Don't get me wrong. I cry. I grieve. I mourn days. I will never forget when, first of all, I have to close down the church and the training center. Could you imagine going to stand before parents of these 30 children to tell them that we shut their future down, their destiny down? The children was becoming the best, the mayors. When we opened the food bank, these children sang. These children were on the program. They were the one that sang the song before we went to the site. And the mayor and I and the group, my pastors, we went and cut the tape to open the food bank for the community. And the mayor asked me, where is these children come from? I said, they are my youth group from my church. We trained them, and they joined the youth choir, and they sang a song, beautiful song. These children stop doing anything they don't have to do in the home, and they become so responsible. They are studying, they come home, they pick their books, they're reading. There was a future for those kids. And my husband walked away and left me with them. And I can't handle 30 kids. I can't. That was my biggest problem. I cannot handle 30 kids. Plus adult. And the responsibilities, the ministry. I tried to run it when he left. I stayed to run it for about a month. I was about to run myself emotionally because I was destroyed completely. The first month, the 2 months, it was disaster. I have to get up and go and do the job both of us we were doing to survive. Cost of living was so bad, so we were throwing paper delivery. Hear me. When you see me being successful today, don't be jealous of me. Because where I'm coming from, I have thrown paper delivery. I'm serious. Me and my husband get up in the morning, 2 a.m. and we go and pick papers. We throw 500 copies of papers every morning in Houston, Texas. Yes, paper delivery. That's what we were doing to survive. So when my husband left, I have to go and do this paper, 500 paper delivering every morning all by myself, because I don't want nobody to know what is happening to me. So imagine you driving around 2 a.m., carry 500 papers, and you are distributing it early in the morning, 5 days, 6 days in a week. I cry. And I would do it, and nobody knew. Nobody knew. To today, people who are with me in Houston, Texas, some will hear this testimony. Those who are alive and well, those who are dead, gone, didn't know about this story. I never told a soul what happened to my husband, my ministry and everything. I never shared this with nobody. I don't want to destroy my husband's reputation. I don't want somebody to hold this decision that he has made against him or look at him and judge him. No. The judgment has to be between him and God. And I left it like that. And I have to do the unthinkable and work my way out of this mess. I don't know what you are going through. But my sister, my brother, you can go through this. What you don't have to do is don't go low. When devil wants you to go low, go high. Yes. When the devil wants me to go low, I refuse to go low. I decided to go high. I decided to go high. I did not go low. And I fought my way through. After 1 month, 2 months, the rent was $2,000 for the 3,000 square foot place we were using. I have to raise $2,000 to pay the rent. For the ministry, I have to pay my rent where I live and pay my car note. It was too much. I'm already in debt $40,000. What do? I have to sit down and sort myself out. I have to shut down. So when I was closing down the ministry, I go to the place in the middle of the night to pack the stuff because I don't want nobody to see me. So I did that for 5 days. And I packed all the computers and everything. Is a huge ministry. Equipment we were using, I have to pack all of them. The ones I have to take it to storage, I did it single-handedly. I did it. And then when I finished getting everything from the building, I notified the landlord that we closed down the ministry. And then I donate all the computers to ministers that I know who are my friends to use it for their ministry. Now I have to decide. And I as a community leader, a leader of the community, when I go to meetings, people ask, "Where's your husband?" And I said, "Oh, he went to see his mom in Atlanta, and he hasn't been back." "Oh, is he all right?" "Yeah." But you can hide emotional wreck. But you know what? Nature will not allow you to hide it. People can see through me that something is wrong with me. Yes, because my persona has changed. The joy, the bubbling, and they know that I am a woman that never, as we have lived together 12 years, from university till where we were, you will never see me without my husband, or you will never see my husband without me. We are always together. So when people saw me for a couple of months and he's not around with me, it kind of bothering them. "Oh, is everything all right?" I say, "Yeah, everything is all right." Now the question is, how long can you lie to people? And I don't want to say nothing because I don't want to give the devil the room. When you are talking about issues like this and you are not properly healed, it rises emotions in you. And if you are not careful, you will break down and people will know that, no, you're lying. But if you don't talk about it, then the emotions won't rise up in you. So that is my techniques. I decided to suppress the pain and the disappointment and the embarrassment, and I'm not going to give the devil a ticket to mess my life up either. There's two ways I was fighting this battle. I will not open my mouth because I learned then that words are powerful. And if you people know, I'm preaching on your words, the words you speak, how powerful it can construct your life. It can destroy your life or it can make your life. And I learned then that I have to be very careful the words that are put out there in regard to this situation. If I open my mouth and I don't become careful to control what I'm talking and the topic and how I'm expressing myself, I may cross the line and say things that I will regret later. And I don't want to regret about any decision my husband took. He's the head of the family. So if you choose to take that decision, he's responsible for everything. He's responsible for the blood of those kids that he was leading, that he ran away and left them in the middle of nowhere. My life and everything else. My life have never been the same. Both good, bad and ugly, all in one. My life have never been the same. My life changed from that day. My life changed from that day. And I've never had a desire to do different things in my life. I have devoted my life 100% to God. Since he left me in the hands of God, since 2014, I have been in the hands of God. Till today that I'm talking to you. Yes. I refuse to let that situation overwhelm me and destroy me. So when I shut down the church, I have to go home and lock myself up in the house and pray myself through. Ask God, what do I do? I have a serious talk with God and I say, God, I don't want to destroy that man's life. I don't want to be in this city that I will be pushed to a point where I have to say things that I don't have no business to say. He's gone. He's not coming back. Me staying here, I have to justify myself every day. I say, Father, I want to relocate. When I relocate, I don't have to deal with this issue. And I had peace about it. So 3 months later, 3 months, it's more than 3 months, because he left January. I have to deal with this issue up to, I think, August, 8 months of the year. I have to deal with these issues for almost 8 months. To make sure that I got everything. So 8 months I was in this situation. And I went through. It was the most hardest thing in my life, hardest time in my life. And I went through it. And finally, I moved. I made the trip, pack my stuff, put this thing on the back of my car and tow my car. And I drove all the way, single-handedly, from Houston, Texas to Virginia. When I got to Virginia, I didn't have a place to stay. My brother has gone to Ghana. So the only place I can stay, I didn't want to stay in the family home. Because my brother's kids and the wife, almost about 6 or 7 kids live in the house with the wife. So I decided to go and live in his office. So I slept in brother's office on the floor for 1 month before I look. In this 1 month, I didn't have money to buy food to eat. So guess what? I did 30 days water fast. I didn't have money, but I can get water. I go to the water fountain and fill a bottle of waters, and I bring it to the office and drink it, because I was waiting upon the Lord for God to move in my life. For 30 days. After the 30 days fast, God opened the door. I got a job, the same paper, delivering job. I have a van, and I've done it over there, so it wasn't difficult. I got a place to live, and then I got opportunity to teach in a Bible school down there. So I got a job, got my morning job, and I got a teaching job in the day. And so I have a place to rent to live. So I start my life again. And then I continue my school. I started going back to school. And gradually, 2008, I had a breakthrough. 2008, October, I graduated with PhD. The devil was using him to deprive me. I spent 12 years to look after this man. Yes. 2 years as friendship. We got married. He finished his master's. I think I made a mistake mentioning the years in the first tape. He got his master's. And then he pursued his PhD. The PhD alone, it took him 5 years. The master's took him about 2 or 3 years. So that gives me 8 years living with him. We were girlfriends, we were friends 2 years, and then we got married 2 years. So when I got married to him 2 years as friends, he was about to finish his master's degree, in chemistry. And then when he's supposed to he took the PhD course, he decided to do material science. And that's where he went. At that time, NASA was looking for people to do bombardment of alloy surface modification program. And he took over that. He built the tube that the laser beam ran through to bombard the face of the alloy, to take all the particles out, to make alloy lighter, so they can use it to build the new space shuttle. My ex-husband built the tube. He built it by himself and processed it by himself. And he passed with a flying color. The best scientist in the world. He wrote 3 books. That man has a brain. He was a good man. Very, very good man. You put my husband here, he won't speak. If you don't talk to him, he won't talk. My husband can dismantle a car and build it back. Marrying to him, it gave me the ability to love cars, because she's always doing something in our car. We never took our car to repair or anything. He would just took up everything and go underneath, and I'll be sitting next to him, jack the car, we will fix the car and finish fixing the car before we go home. I will just leave him, go and prepare food and bring it to him and sit with him. That is how close we are. We do everything together. Don't ask me what happened. I don't know. That is something one day when I meet God, I will ask God, God, what did happen? I leave that one with God, and I've never questioned God. I've never asked why. I just left it like that. So, out of all this devastating situation that happened to me, what I'm saying to you today, that you must ask life, what purpose life have for you? What is the purpose that life has for you? In the midst of this problem, I ask God, I ask life, what purpose do you have for me? I know there is a purpose for my life. What is it? The first answer was, the first question was, do you know who you are? So I'm asking you tonight, do you know who you are? Not what people say what you are. Do you know that once in Jesus' life, in Jesus' ministry, Jesus came face to face to this question, and he internalized it and thought about it seriously, and he decided to ask his disciples, because he got a bunch of 12 men following him everywhere, miracles, sleeping, rising up, doing everything, having time, because Jesus provided everything for them free for 2.5 years. And one day Jesus decided, no, I have to ask these guys if they really know who I am. The people you are moving around with, do they know who you are? Or my question is, do you yourself know who you are? When you know who you are, you know why things did not destroy me? Because I knew who I was. And I knew what I want to be. The only thing I didn't know was what purpose life has for me. That I didn't know, because that is divine. But God has taught me to know myself, that I'm special. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I am only one. God never make a duplicate of me. And nobody will ever live on the face of the earth that look like me, talk like me, act like me. So I knew that this one is also a test of time, a test of life. What am I going to do with this text? Am I going to fail or pass? Because if I fail, it shall repeat itself. And I don't want to go through such a repetition of life test. I didn't know that such a cycle comes back in 9 years. I wasn't determined to wait for another years to repeat the same test. I decided, no, this test will not pass me by. I'm going to pass it, whether devil like it or not. And I hope tonight, as you hearing me, you can make that decisive decision that no matter what the circumstance you are going through right now is, you are not going to allow the devil to make you fail, but you are going to pass the test. But determined to know who you are. Who are you? Do you know who you are? I mean, seriously, not what people tell you, not what the institutional wickedness saying you are, not what your mom say you are, or your father say you are, or society painting a picture of you or speaking into your life, that doesn't have effect in your life. You must know who you are. Not cliched form of speaking it. You know, some people have recite certain things, different affirmations, and they go around and say it just to make people think they know what they are talking about. And let me tell you, we have those who use those words in a cliched. We have those people who put facade on and go around and let everybody think they are who they are, and they are not. I'm not talking about that. Because you can deceive yourself like that too. And when you deceive yourself doing that, the day a storm like what I'm talking about hits you, then you find that you don't have no substance. You don't have no foundation to stand on it. You haven't built your foundation upon the solid rock that you stand. You don't. You have built your foundation on a sand, following people and repeating other people and thinking it's cool. It's not cool. Because when the storm comes, if you do not build your life upon the solid rock, upon the faith you have in God, upon knowing who God has made you to be, and you know that you are a child of God, you are a special child of God, and nothing of the enemy shall harm you, and you build your foundation on the word of God and the solid on God. Put trust in Him and know that He would never leave you nor forsake you. He would never push you, tempt you or bring a temptation in your way that you don't have the power to escape, a way to escape, or the power to overcome it. That's not. If you don't grounded yourself, grounded and rooted in the word of God and in the faith of God and the faith in yourself, if you do not do that, when the storm comes, it will destroy you. When tsunami hit you, life tsunami hit you, it will level you up. But I thank God that at that time, I have grounded myself in the Lord. I have walked with God with all my heart and with all my soul. So when that storm, when that tsunami hit me, all what I have to do is to go internally, to affirm myself who I am. And by so doing, I find my voice. As a matter of fact, the time this thing hit me, I was in school, learning character building in Houston.